can say it. Amen.
Amen.
Come on, really? Amen.
Amen.
There we go. That wasn't hard. Morning. Those of you who don't know me, that's okay. Jesus knows me. We all good. We all good with it. My name is Russell Watson. I am originally from South Africa, but I'm here to serve the people of Thailand and all those who come to this beautiful place called Coastal Square. Isn't this like a really special time of the year? I don't know about you, but every year, when I get towards the end of the year, I have plans for the new year. What are your plans? What are the things that you've been thinking about over this last month? Lord, come the 1st of January. Actually, no, I can't do the 1st of January because that's New Year, so I still got to have dinner. Okay, look, come in the 2nd of January. I'm going to eat more healthy. I'm going to do lots of exercise. I'm going to change jobs, move houses. Funny, people tend to move home at the beginning of the year. They tend to start their jobs at the beginning of the year. They can't really have babies at the beginning of the year because then it's awkward for Christmas because you've got morning sickness and you're stuck with all of that, so that doesn't work. But everything is planned about the new year. And we do what is known as make resolutions. Now I'm almost tempted to bring the microphone to you, but I can't. I am very short. But I want to ask, who has made a New Year's resolution? Let me see with a show of hands. Yes, I see one there. I see another one. What's your New Year's resolution? John, what are you going to do for the New Year?
New Year.
Yes.
Do lots of work.
Lots of work. That's fantastic. Who else has made a resolution? Who has decided? Yes.
Enlarge
You can stand. Come on, stand on the chair. Don't be like that.
Enlarge his kingdom.
Enlarge his kingdom. That's the spiritual. Did you know she walks on water? Enlarge his kingdom. What else? Yes, sir. What were you thinking of the year? Yes, sir. Healthy.
Do some work.
Yeah, do some work. You see how amazing it is. We've got these plans about the future. And I'm actually glad. Okay, just hold on. Let's wait for the Russian crew to get settled down. Nice of you to come, Dina. Great to see you. No, please. You guys sit this. We'll take a chair. There you go. Let's go sit down. No, really, go sit down. Not sit down. Which is one advantage of family, is that we can just do things and be quite comfortable. And I'm glad that Anastasia brought up the subject of Kiara, because you see, that morning, the parents, the mom had actually sent a message out on Facebook of the plans that they had for Christmas Day. They had all, in fact, her presents and their presents are not yet unpacked. They were all under the tree and they were all ready to celebrate Christmas. And then somebody who had been drinking causes that. You see, we can make these resolutions, we can have these plans, we can have these thoughts, we can have all of these things set up, but we don't really know. And what I want to talk about really is the difference between resolution and transformation. You see, we can make resolutions about the things that we want to change, that needs to be changed, things that need to be planned, things that need to be done differently. I don't know about you, but there are a lot of things I look back on my life that I think, if I just said that differently, or if I had to do that differently, not knowing and understanding whatever I've been through, it was because God said so. Nothing happens without God say so. So what is transformation? Now let's go back. What is resolution? It's a firm decision to do or not to do something. How many of you have been successful with your past resolutions? So like you start January. So now you're still recovering from the first or the second. So I'll tell you what. The first Monday after the New Year, I'm going to start. I'm going to start to exercise. So like the other day, I've started to prepare myself and I decided to go do a swim. Like, legs. And I thought, well, this is easy. I've done this before. I'll just do a quick kilometer and Bob's your uncle. Sometimes. Well, I want to tell you, after 20 meters, which was one length, I came out gasping for air. And I realized that this magnificent athletic body of mine didn't work like my brain said it does. And so that's what happens with us. We make the resolution, I'm going to train, I'm going to do this. And after the first attempt, I'm not that keen to go swimming anymore, I must tell you. So that's the end of my swimming career. But what is transformation? Transformation is a thorough or dramatic change in form or appearance. How many of you remember when you were 16? My favorite year. I still live in that year. I'm 61 years old. And all I can think about is when I was 16. I was slim, trim, fit, handsome, no wrinkles, lots of hair. Like the world was my oyster. And I'm 61. So you want to get out for yourself. So the other day, a friend of mine contacts me from Cape Town, bigger part from Durban, and she says to me, I bought my husband a book, and this book is called The Book of Mysteries, and it's by an author called Jonathan Cahn. Now, I don't like reading other people's books, because I think the Bible is sufficient, but somehow, I download this book, and I get to day number 3. And day number 3, so it's about this book of mysteries. So for every day, he gives us a mystery that's in the Bible. And he submits this word called Shana. S-H-A-N-N-A-H. And what does Shana mean? There are two meanings. The first one is associated with the number 2. So in other words, it's things that just keep going on the same, like a year and the season. You start in, well, it depends what part of the world. So let's say we start in spring. You have spring, summer, autumn, winter. Spring, summer, and it never changes. It's always the same. It always has that vibe. And then the second meaning of the word Shana means to start again, to start afresh, to be different. For the year that lies ahead, what are we going to do that's different? There's a saying here on the island, and I think it's throughout Thailand, Satan. When you buy something and you say, no, but that doesn't look like it. No, Satan. Are we going to be living 2019 Satan? Will it just be another cycle and another continuation of the same old things that we've been doing today? Go to church on Sunday, hopefully make home fellowship on a Wednesday, try and be good, feed the stray dogs, take the granny across the road, blah, 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 visit the sick in the hospital, but as long as we can get through our list, we'll just end up doing the same old things. So Shana is a paradox. If you're not sure what the word paradox means, it means exact opposite of the same thing. So here's old, the same, and beginning. So you think, what a weird way to live life. But there's some things in our lives that are exactly the same every day. After your first breath in the morning, you take another breath. And you don't have any control over that. But God knows every breath, He knows every hair on our heads. And are we just going to serve Him same? What about our regrets? You know that song by Frank Sinatra? Regrets. I have a few. What are your regrets? What are my regrets? As we look over this past year of 2018, how do we look back and say, if only, what I should have done, what I could have done, what I must have done, but I didn't. And so what happens is, instead of us looking at the mistakes that we made and the things that never worked out according to our plans, we get stuck. And we stay there. And we get stuck in regret, we get stuck in depression, we get stuck in despair. And we think, how do I move forward from here? For those of you who don't know, that same little girl, Kiara, her mom also had a baby that was stillborn, and straight after birth, the baby was put onto her chest. So can you imagine losing 2 of your children? It's difficult to comprehend, especially for us as parents. What are our regrets? What are we worried about? What are we concerned about? There are 2 days in our lives that we have absolutely no control over. And every day is exactly the same. How do we change yesterday? Who of you was able to change the events from yesterday? Anybody? You know how to change yesterday? You know how to change yesterday? Maybe you got, as a Mauritian, you got like, better. No, I don't know. And what's happening tomorrow? Ben, do you know what's happening tomorrow? No. You may have planned for tomorrow, but you know that in an instant, life can change. And something dramatic can happen to your life and you'll never know. I met some French people over this last couple of days, and the lady had actually contacted me from Indonesia and said to me that her sister-in-law wants to be water baptized. You know, we meet her and she gets saved and she gets baptized. But she has this fiancé who's a heavy drug addict, heavy drunkard. He's extremely violent, and he wants nothing to do with what's going on. But when I greet him, I put my arms around him and I hold him, and I can feel, you know that feeling when somebody's loving on you and it's like, please let me go. I don't do hugging. I love hugging. You know that feeling. And I said, give me your hands. And I took my glasses off because I wanted him to see into my eyes. And I looked into his eyes and I said to him, you're going to be okay. You know what the amazing thing was? His life changed forever in that instant. He gave his heart to Jesus. And as we were baptizing his fiancée, he walked into the water, and I looked up at him and I said, "Ah, you're next." He said, "Yes." So he got water baptized. And then after he got water baptized, he got baptized in the Holy Spirit. In an instant, from being a sinner to becoming a son of the Most High God, set free of all his past, all his regrets and all his mistakes, in an instant. What is holding us back to 2018? What is causing us to fear what 2019 has to offer? When we wake up in the morning and our feet touches the ground, does hell go, "Oh, no, not him, not her"? Or does the devil go, "Ah, don't worry, same. Don't worry about it. They'll fight with each other. They'll be rude to each other. They'll cheat each other." And I'm not talking about outside the church. I'm talking about inside the body of Christ. These things are going on. Are we going to live like the same? Or are we going to live with purpose so that we know that many people are going to hell while we deal with our little issues? In Matthew 6 in verse 34 it says, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about its own things. Sufficient for the day, it has its own troubles." And what about yesterday? Ecclesiastic, that which has been is what will be, that which is done will be done, and there is nothing new under the sun. Is there anything of which it may be said, "See, this is new"? It has already been in ancient times before us. We can't change yesterday, and we can't even start to imagine what tomorrow holds. But we need to be present in His presence. You know that feeling sometimes when you meet a fellow Christian, and as you start talking for no apparent reason, there's just amazing washing over you. Some of us call it goosebumps, and you go, oh, do you want goosebumps? Like now, you see, oh, you make little ears pop up all over, and you're like all excited. The Creator of the universe, the sovereign God, our Heavenly Father, by His Holy Spirit, chooses to presence Himself with us. Like today, 2 or more gathered in my name, so I am there in the midst of them. Do we present ourselves in His presence? Watched a video the other day, and the guy that was preaching, Chang, first name? Francis Chang. He says that when you are talking to the other person, what do you want from them and what are you trying to give them instead of just loving on them? How easy is it for us to love others? Or are we waiting for the next deal, waiting to get my chance to speak? Because you see, hey, I'm going to tell you this, and oh, really? That's nothing, mate. I'll tell you what happened yesterday. And we go, oh, we start, because we're so keen on getting out what we have to say, instead of giving what we have, which is the love of the Father, unto those that we meet. Psalm 16 verse 11 says, show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand, all pleasures are forevermore. All pleasures. You see, the Bible says Jesus died, but He was risen in power by the Holy Spirit, and He is seated at the right hand of the Father. And if Jesus is seated at the right hand of the Father, and we are co-heirs with Him, so we are present in His presence and His right hand. And as a result of that, we should be walking in fullness of joy. How much joy do we walk into? You know, you're riding down here, and the guy, no indication. We say, praise the Lord, brother. Bless you as you go. Yeah, you think that the things that we shouldn't say, like, I was so full with the Holy Spirit and righteous indignation when they cut me off. No, you weren't thinking that. You were thinking, I'm going to. Why are you laughing? It's the truth, man. And then we call it righteous indignation. The righteousness of God just welled up in me, and I want to do. Kill him, kill him, kill him. I praise the Lord, I pray for them. Ish. How many of us have made bad decisions? Well, I mean, I wish I could actually put all my digits up to show you. You know, they say you can be forgiven 70 times 7. Well, that's how many bad decisions I've made with steroids. And often I have people coming to me like this. You know. I said, are you finished? Yeah. I said, yeah. You actually forgot to say a lot of other stuff. But I want to tell you who I am. I'm a beloved Son of the Most High God. I walk in His righteousness and I walk in His forgiveness. Nothing you say, nothing you think, and nothing you do can separate me from the love of my Father. You see, what I want to really do is defend myself and say, how dare you? You call yourself a Christian and look how you speak to me. You see, you're all laughing again because that's me. I want to kill everybody. I was figuring out if everybody is dead, I'll have no problems. It'll just be me and God. Dwelling in His presence. Oh Lord, your favorite is here. Your beloved. Yeah. Hello, Mike. How you doing, Mike? My friend Mike. Bible says this in James, chapter 1 from verse 5 to verse 8. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith with no doubting. Let's just stop there for a moment. Like, my heart is to see people raised from the dead. But I often think, what if the person actually sits up and goes, I'm hungry. You will see this body move at the speed of light. Because I'm not sure. I mean, I'm trusting God for faith to do that, but what when it happens? And it's strange. Oh Lord, praise your name. Be raised from the dead. And I faint. With no doubting, for he who doubts is like a wave of the sea driven and tossed about by the wind. For let no man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is double-minded, unstable in all his ways. I actually want to read something to you. It says this: good decisions come from experience, and experience comes from bad decisions. You see, there is no failure in the eyes of the Father. There's no failure. There's a learning process. How many of you can remember when you first rode your scooter or a car? Remember how the blood would come out of your knuckles? And the one that's teaching you saying, relax, I'm relaxed. And there's a change to gears. And then a couple of months later, Mama doing the head bounce. And then we get angry because we've just cut something else off, and they saying a few things to us and shame that they haven't got 10 fingers on their hands. And they're like, you know that finger? No, not that, but the other one. How can we act like that? Don't you know the peace of the Lord is with me? And you know when you're speeding and you go through the speed trap because you're doing praise and worship, praise the Lord, and the guy stops you and you say to the cop, well, you don't understand. I was in the presence of the Holy Spirit. I was led. The guy says, no, your foot was like lead. It pushed the accelerator down and you were going around at 80 k's an hour and 60 k's an hour. Yeah, but you know, the grace of God. Really? Really? Where's all this stuff coming from? Are we prepared to step out of our old ways? Or is it going to be same old, same old? And you know how much I like change. You know, like when you come there and the chair, every week, there's lines on the floor. And I pack every chair according to the lines. And the next day I think, what's wrong with people? They've moved it. Check this chair's out. Look at this one's like, no, there's a line. You know, there's a line. And that's how we treat God sometimes. Lord, you are lying. Don't bring change. I don't want to go to Mexico. I don't want to go to Communist China. I don't want to go to Thailand. You know, why? We don't like change, but are we prepared to change? Are we prepared to set aside every plan and every scheme that we have in our own hearts on how God wants us to run our lives? Or are we going to be led by Him and follow Him? Isaiah 43:19 says this, behold, I do a new thing, and it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a road in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. How many of you are walking in a wilderness right now? Come on, don't be scared. Me, I'm first. Anybody going through a little bit of trial and tribulation right now? Finances all over the place, business all over the place, marriages all over the place, relationships, jobs. You know, we all got perfect bosses who just love us. Oh, they love on us. They pay on time. They appreciate what we do. Our spouses just absolutely adore us because, oh, there's no better than my spouse. Our kids, oh, so amazing. No, we have times of the wilderness and we have times of being in the desert. And I don't know how many of you have ever been to a wilderness. There is no path. That's why it's called wilderness. There's nothing. And even when you put your phone or your GPS on, you see the little car spinning. It just spins. Where are we going? No, it's spinning. Which way's up? I don't know. He will make a path for you. A road in the wilderness. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. He is the only path. The more people I meet on the island, the more tell me, no, but I follow Buddha and I follow Jesus. I've got good news and I've got bad news for you. Buddha is going to lead you to a path of destruction. But Jesus can give you the path to salvation. Have any of you walked through a desert? I've been to Egypt. 48 degrees, 10 p.m. at night. 48 degrees C. I can't tell you the temperature during the day. It's so hot that when you pour water, I think it evaporates before it gets to your glass. It's like, are you going through a desert? Are you feeling like you're so dry, I can't hear God? That's all I hear people say. I ask them, so what's God saying to you? Nothing. Well, what do you mean nothing? No, I can't hear him. He doesn't talk to me. How selfish. Lord's got like a favorite list. Russell, I talk to him all the time. He's my boy. Other one, I don't talk to you. That's a load of rubbish. And it's unscriptural. He speaks to us every second of the day. He started speaking to us before we were even formed in our mother's womb. He's been talking. He's been speaking life. He's been speaking hope. He's been speaking plans, destiny. He's been speaking purpose. Why are we not listening? It's not that God doesn't talk, it's that we don't listen. Are you going through the desert? Time to drink of His living waters. Time to drink deep. He said to the woman at the well, I will give you water that you will never thirst again. It's time. You can't go into 2019 on 2018's promises and 2018's revelation and 2018's nearly done. You've got to go into 2019 saying, Father, not my will, but your will be done. Amen. Romans 6:4 says this, therefore we were buried with him through baptism into death, that just as Christ was raised from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. We used to sing a song long ago, I'm a new creation, I'm born again. All things have passed away. I don't know the words. But then it's that. Remember that old ditty? Oh, I remember. They call me the Ancient of Days. I'm really old. But we used to sing a song. I'm born again. I'm born again. Newness of life. You see, you know how you know that a person has newness of life? Is you don't recognize them from their past. What do people recognize in our lives? Do they see Christ? Do they see the light of Christ? Are we the salt of the earth? Are we the light of the world? Or are we hidden under some basket, under some bushel, hoping that Jesus comes through soon so that we don't need to deal with life. The reality is we need to live. And the reason that we live is so that others may come to new life. 2 Corinthians 5:17 says, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. All things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. Are we showing newness? Are we new creations? Or is it same? Are we living in a place of Shana, where it's just the same repetition, or is it Shana with a new beginning? Anybody heard that saying, procrastination is the thief of time? You know how we put things off? You know those do-it-yourself jobbies around the house, those really ugly ones. This needs changing, or the lawn needs mowing. I'll do it later. Mañana. In Zulu we say kusasa. Tomorrow. Don't worry. Soon. And in an instance, our life can be taken. And in an instance, like with Kiara, things can change for a family where they were about to celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to a point, and they run a church. And remember, every day they have to get up and be an encouragement to people and say, trust God. And yet they trust Him for the life of that little child. So, what is your resolution for the new year? What have you resolved to do that's going to be different? Ecclesiastes 3:1-8 says, to everything there is a season, a time and a purpose for everything under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to gain and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with the season that you're walking through? And when I say you, I'm speaking to me first. What are you? What are you doing with your time? Romans 12, 1-2, really is a culmination of what I'm trying to say. And it's a plea by Paul. I think he was looking at a little congregation like this. And things have been going on. He saw people walking in the desert. He saw people walking in wilderness. He saw people that were losing children, people with health problems, people with financial problems, people that didn't agree with what the government's doing, people that did illegal things, and now they're living in a place of incarceration, in jail, and they're thinking, if only. And it says this, I beseech you. Beseech is such a strong word. It's like saying, please, I beg you. But the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable, which is your reasonable service. The very best that you can do for God is only a reasonable service. I'm begging you, consider the year ahead. Consider the next minute ahead. Oh, I can't even see. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed. You see, it's easy to be same. It's easy to be Shana, where it's like the seasons. We'll just go on in, day out. We'll do the same old, same old. But what if we pick Shana that says about a new beginning, starting over? But be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. What are you doing with your time? We don't have a lot of time. We'd like to think that we would live forever. We'd like to think that we'll slowly just slip into eternity, into the embracing arms of the Father, as we just leave this world and we go and sit in heavenly places, and it's done. The time that we're on this planet is for a purpose. Our best thoughts, schemes and plans will come to nothing unless they are of God. You see, you can have a lot of good ideas, but if they're not God ideas, they are destined to fail. It's just the way it is. And where does transformation, how do we get transformed from one state to another? It's from loving and obeying God. And I'm going to end with this. It's in Luke 10, verse 27. So he answered and said, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and with all your mind. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You see, without the love of God, we're wasting our time. Why are you on this planet? So that you can gather wealth, gather fame, gather fortune, grow in stature, grow in... Why are you here? We're here because of the purposes of our Father. We're here to carry out the mandate of our Lord Jesus Christ. We are here to present ourselves in the presence of the Holy Spirit, so that He will give us power, He will give us understanding, He will give us wisdom, and He will give us strength. So that we can love God, we can love our neighbor, and we can love ourselves. In Jesus' name. Please stand. Heavenly Father, Lord, even as we start to approach the new year, let it be from a place of Shana. Not the same old, not just the repetitive things of the things that we've done. Not living in regrets, not stuck in the past, but Father, with a huge expectation to do something that will further and grow the kingdom of God. Holy Spirit, we pray that you will fill us afresh, Lord. Let your anointing fall upon us. Let your presence be so radical in our lives, Father God, that we will never settle for just enough. We will never settle for lukewarm. But Father, that we would be led by your Holy Spirit to do your perfect will. Teach us, Holy Spirit, how to obey everything that Jesus has commanded us. Teach us, Holy Spirit, how to walk in the truth of the Word. Teach us, Holy Spirit, how to discern when we're standing in front of somebody and we have so much to tell them, so much negative stuff to tell them, so full of ourselves that we die to let them know what we've done. Father, that we would be filled with your love and ask them, what do you need? What are you wanting to say? Father, I bless you for this people. I bless you for the new year that lies ahead of them, Father God, that there will be plans, purpose, and destiny that you have set about, Father God, that they would walk in it, not having to strive, not having to work hard at it, but Father, from a place of gratitude and contentment, Father God, that will walk in the fullness of your glory. And we give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.